Sige, let us continue. Okay, let's talk about the IV bolus injection. So when we say IV bolus injection, definitely this is intravenously administered or injected, but take note that the entire dose is being administered at one time. Okay, so single na administration. So after administration at time 0, we will already reach the maximum concentration. Syempre, diniretso natin siya sa blood, intravenously given. So since the entire dose is given at the same time, at time 0, we will start really on the Cmax. Okay? Now, however, since nag-start tayo sa Cmax here, as time goes by, the drug will be eliminated from the body. Therefore, the concentration will decline from the body, and we will have to determine yung ating concentration yung habang tumatagal yung time. Okay? So the rate will be proportional to the concentration of the drug, and in this discussion, we will be following the first order kinetics or the first order elimination. Okay? So IV injection of a single dose of a drug provides the simplest pharmacokinetic profile of a drug substance because there is no absorption. Hindi tayo discuss or magto-talk about absorption here since diretso yung drug sa ating blood. So we will have the simplest picture on what happens to a drug after administration. Okay? So this one is just a representation of the plasma concentration time curve between a single IV bolus administration, and on the right side we have the multiple dosing. So definitely sa single dosing or single IV bolus administration, again at time 0 we will have the maximum concentration and the drug will be eliminated in the body. Again, this time this follows a first order elimination. Okay, so you will have a curve there until the drug gets eliminated completely in the body. So this one naman on the right side is multiple dosing of IV bolus. So there will be a second dose here after a certain interval. Now, the drug will be eliminated in the body, but syempre since we administer another dose here, kaya tataas na naman, we have another Cmax here. Okay, this is another concentration here after drug administration, yung second administration natin. So, following IV bolus, the entire dose in the body, um, uh, ano yan siya, kino-compute natin yung entirety of the dose and the concentration mismo sa body natin, and kino-compute din natin yung kanyang elimination process, yung elimination rate niya, and then again we will follow the first order process. So the rate of decrease of the drug in the body is dependent on the amount of drug present in the body at any given time. So yan yung ating first order kinetics. Kasi yung zero order natin, yung elimination ay hindi dependent sa amount of drug na naiwan sa body. Okay, so mag-eliminate lang siya at a constant rate. Pagdating dito sa first order kinetics, yung elimination nakadepende sa naiwan na amount of drug in the body. So we will still need the following details for the drug. We have the dose of the drug, we have to know that one, and then we'll be computing for the volume of distribution, and at the same time, the elimination rate constant or our K. Okay, so we have here, we will be using the following equation. So the amount of drug in the compartment, this is for one compartment model. So since this is the simplest na na picture on what happened to the drug. So again, amount of drug in the compartment at any time after the dose can be obtained by integrating this equation. So we have here the A. A is the dose of the drug, or pwede din naman concentration of the drug being injected in the body at a certain time equals the concentration at 0 time, itong A0 here, and then E raised to the power of negative Kp. Again, K is the elimination rate constant, and then syempre we have the time. Okay? Or we can use this equation. A is, again, the dose of the drug here, and then equals the volume of distribution times the concentration. If ever we need one of the following na, anong tawag dyan? Data. And then substituting the values of A in the above equation, we may get this one. Concentration na siya. Concentration at a certain time, again, is equal to the concentration at 0 time times E raised to the power of Kt. And then pwede natin i-substitute kung hindi natin alam yung concentration at 0 time, then we can have the dose, the given dose divided by the volume of distribution. So, depende. Pwedeng itong sa taas kung given na yung concentration at 0 time, and then sa baba if hindi naman siya given. Okay? So, in our undergraduate studies, we are asked to plot samples or data na yung sa time and sa concentration in a graphing paper. And diba, if it's for first order kinetics, we will get a nonlinear na graph. So just like this one. Okay. However, if you're going to do that on a semi-log paper, just like on the right side, we will have the linear na graph. Okay. So yan yung ginagawa natin when we plot for the concentration and the time. This is for the first order kinetics. Okay? So, this one naman is an example. The single IV bolus dose of a drug. To be specific, it's gentamicin. We have here the given dose. That's 200 milligrams. And then the given volume of distribution is 20 liters. So, the first question here is what is the value of the concentration at 0 time. Again, if we don't know the concentration at 0 time, we may use the formula. Concentration at 0 time is equal to the dose divided by the volume. So we have here the dose, the 200 milligrams, and then let's divide it sa 20 liters. That's the volume of distribution. The concentration at 0 time is 10 milligrams per liter. Okay, so again, that is our concentration at 0 time. So as you can see on the graph sa baba, nag-start lahat sa 10 milligrams per liter. Okay? So, itong nasa left side, it's a graph on a graphing paper. And then, on the right side, it's on the semi-log paper. That is why we have here a linear na pagbaba, linear na pag-eliminate ng drug. So, we have here given examples of the concentration of drug at a given time. So, just like this one, on the 6th hour, nasa gitna ng 4 and 8, okay, we have here the concentration 2.23, and after 20 hours, we have here the remaining concentration of the drug in the blood, 0.067. Now, if we want to compute for the elimination rate constant, we have here another formula, negative Ke, that's the elimination rate constant, equals the natural logarithm of the second concentration minus the natural logarithm of the first concentration divided by the second time dito sa plot natin ha, sa graph natin minus the time 1. Okay, so substituting these values, we will be treating the 0.067 as the second concentration. Ito naman yung 2.23 yung ating first concentration. Okay, so this one here, 0.067, this should be minus ito. And then in natural logarithm nyo siya sa calculator. And then 20 minus 6, so that is why we have the 14. So if we are going to do the math, our elimination rate constant for gentamicin given at 200 milligrams na dose is 0.25 per hour. Okay, so this is again 0.25 per hour. So again, please take note of the following equation. This one is the first one to compute for the concentration at 0 time, and I will not be asking you to make a graph during the exam. All of the data will be given. So just like this one, the graph is already given. All you need to do is to compute for the elimination rate constant. Okay. So diretso na. So please take note, negative KE is equal to the natural logarithm of the second concentration minus the natural logarithm of the first concentration, tapos baliktad sa baba, not baliktad, T2 minus T1 pa rin. So let's use that formula. Now, using the computed elimination rate constant for gentamicin, we still have the dose here, 200 milligrams. The same volume of distribution, 20 liters. And then again, let's use the computed elimination rate constant, that's 0.25 per hour. Now, the question is, calculate the plasma concentration at 2 hours. So, after 2 hours ng administration, what will be the concentration in the plasma if we have the following data for gentamicin? So, again, let's use this one. Ito yung formula natin, C equals D over V. This is actually for the computation of the concentration at 0 time. Actually, na-compute na siya on the previous slide. That's 10 milligrams per liter. Pero pinakita lang dito just in case kung hindi given yung concentration at 0 time, we may use the dose divided by the volume of distribution times E raised to the power of negative 0.250 or 0.25 times yung ating time. Okay, so after 2 hours. So again, our concentration at 0 time is 10 milligrams per liter. And then if we are going to do the math of this one, we have here the 0.607. So after 2 hours, the plasma concentration for gentamicin will be 6.07 milligrams per liter. So makikita natin yan siya dito sa graph. If we are going to do plotting, we can see that after 2 hours, the remaining concentration of the drug is 6.07. That is the same graph we had sa previous na slide. Pero makikita na natin here na sa 2 hours, we will have the 6 na concentration. Okay, so that's how we compute. We will have this one also sa ating exam. Okay? So ito naman is actually just the volume of distribution which was actually given sa problem. But just in case if we want to see the computation of the volume of distribution, we can use the same formula. Though on the concentration at 0 time, we may substitute the D over V. Okay, so ito yung 6.07 na computed plasma concentration after 2 hours equals 200. It's the dose given para sa patient natin. And then again, what we are looking here is the volume of distribution. So we have the volume here times yung computed kanina, e raised to the power of negative 2, that's the time, times the 0.25 or 0.250, that is our rate elimination constant. So that is 0.607. And then doing the math, we still get the volume of distribution, the 20 liters. So that's the volume of distribution for gentamicin. So using all of the data na na-compute, we can also compute for the clearance of the drug. So for the clearance of the drug, the clearance of gentamicin, we can use the formula clearance is equal to the volume of distribution times the rate elimination constant. So, di ba, we have the 20 liters for the volume of distribution, and then we have the computed rate elimination constant here. Let's just multiply the elimination of gentamicin is 5 liters per hour. Yan lahat yung mga pwede natin i-compute. So again, this is for IV bolus injection. This is the simplest one since we don't need to consider the absorption of the drug. Now, aside from the concentration at zero time or the concentration, the volume of distribution, the rate elimination constant, and the clearance, we can also compute or we can also estimate the half-life of the drug. So this is for gentamicin. Syempre, we have the same formula, just like last time. The half-life is computed as 0.693 divided by the rate elimination constant. So dividing it, our half-life for gentamicin is 2.77 hour. Okay? That is for the single IV bolus injection. This is an example. Any question or clarification? Baka meron kayong gustong i-clarify. Kung hindi nasundan, again, I have already posted the copy of the PPT. Oh, wait lang. I forget something. Andali lang. Yes. Okay, let us continue with still the intravenous bolus injection, but this time, let's talk about the multiple dosing of the drug. Now, if ever we give IV bolus and then the interval is masyadong malayo na nagiging zero na yung amount of drug in the body before the next dose, independent dosing na yun siya. Hindi na yan siya multiple dosing kasi walang accumulation of drug na nangyari in the body. However, if meron namang accumulation na nangyayari kasi hindi lahat ng drug na eliminate before the second dose, meron tayong different na computations for that. Marami tayong i-consider. Okay? So ito yung sa first na illustration here, this is actually independent dosing. So we have here the first concentration IV bolus since we have the maximum concentration at 0 time. However, when the second dose was administered, the drug was completely removed already from the body. So again, it is called independent dosing. Ito naman yung IV bolus na multiple dosing. So as you can see, before administering the next dose, meron pa ring drug na naiwan sa body. Yeah. So just like this one, this is the concentration at 0 time. We have the maximum concentration here, the 250. And then, syempre, the drug gets eliminated from the body. But after 6 hours, the second dose was being administered. However, meron pang natirang drug sa body. Okay? So, when the second dose was administered, we will have a higher Cmax here, a higher na maximum concentration kasi i-add natin yung naiwan sa body and then yung dose na in-administer. So, as you can see, tumataas yung ating maximum concentration as we administer more dose. Because again, we will have to add the dose being administered and the drug left from the body. Now, again, since there is still a drug left in the body, we will not be using the same formula from the previous discussion. That is just for single administration. Ito yung gagamitin natin for IV bolus na multiple dosing. Okay? So equation, this is the equation to calculate plasma concentration at any time during multiple dose therapy. We have here the concentration at any time, the N. Here, at any time yan siya, or the number of the last dose. This is equal to the S, the salt factor. This is usually 1 if not given. And then F is the bioavailable factor. And since this is given IV, automatic this is 1 or 100%. And then D here is the dose of the drug administered times 1 minus E raised to the power of N. Again, the small letter N here is the number of the last dose times the K. K again is our rate elimination constant. And then we have here T. Actually, that's not the T, but anyway, that's the dosing interval. Okay, divided by the volume of distribution. So we still need here the volume of distribution. Magkapareho lang ito. Multiply the same thing sa taas times the E raised to the power of KT. Okay, so we have here, by the way, a different na formula sa concentration depending if we are computing for the maximum concentration or the minimum concentration. For the maximum concentration, we'll use this formula. Hindi na itong sa taas kasi ito yung detailed na computation talaga na isa-isahin mo siya bawat dose mo. Pero pwede na din namang diretso, this one here. Ang kaibahan nila actually itong last na ito. This one. Yung E raised to the power of negative KT. Wala yan siya dito for the maximum concentration. Pero actually, if na-compute mo na yung maximum concentration mo, you can directly use this formula sa baba. I-multiply mo na lang. Okay, sa E raised to the power of K. Let's have a sample problem here. Multiple intravenous bolus injections. Yung ating dose is 250 milligrams of a drug are administered every 8 hours. So the drug has the following parameters. Syempre, the S is, the salt factor is equal to 1. The volume of distribution is given, that's 30 liters. And then we don't need to compute for the elimination rate constant anymore. That's 0.1 per hour. And yung ating time interval is 8 hours. Now, what are we going to calculate? Letter A, the plasma concentration 3 hours after the second dose. Okay, so meaning natapos na ang first dose, nakapag-administer na tayo ng second dose, pero ano yung magiging plasma concentration 3 hours after ng second dose na? So again, let's use this formula for the computation. Okay? So, the concentration times S, that's 1. F is also 1. This is the bioavailable factor. This is intravenously given. So, that's automatically 1. So, do not be confused bakit na diretso na siya ng 250 sa baba. Hindi na nilagay yung 1 kasi parehas naman silang 1. Okay? Times 1 minus E sa calculator na ito ha, raised to the power of 2, meaning itong 2 na yan, N, di ba, is the yung last dose, number of last dose. So since this is the second dose, so that is why 2 here, times the elimination rate constant, that's 0.1, times the 8. 8 is the dosing interval. Okay, sa baba, let's divide it. 30 times, yung 30 is the volume of distribution, times the same thing, 1 minus E raised to the power of, except for the N ha, KT na lang siya sa baba. So 0.1, that's the rate elimination constant times the dosing interval. And then, lahat na yan, i-multiply natin dito sa E raised to the power of KT. So, negative 0.1. And then yung 3 here, it's the time. Kasi plasma concentration after 3 hours naman. So, if we're going to do the math, the concentration after 3 hours after the second dose is 8.96 milligrams per liter. Okay, so I hope we will be familiar with the tawag dyan, yung formula natin para ma-compute natin yung ating concentration. Now, letter B here is the peak and trough plasma concentration during this second dosing interval. So, I'm talking about the maximum concentration and the minimum concentration. So, for the maximum concentration, you can use this formula. Again, S and F are both 1. Pwede nang wala. Again, dose is 250. Substitute the values here. E raised to the power of, di ba? This is the second dosing already. N is the number of the last dose. So that's second dosing na. So that's why 2 times 0.1. Again, that is the given na rate elimination constant times the 8. 8 here is the dosing interval. So divide it sa baba. The same thing naman. 30 times 1. 30 is again the volume of distribution minus E raised to the power of 0.1 times 8. So our maximum concentration here, the peak, is 12.1. After the second dosing, ang pinakataas na concentration will be 12.1. So ito na yung combination ng remaining dose or remaining drug on the first concentration plus yung second na in-administer. And then yung minimum concentration naman natin, pwede na nating idiretso kasi computed na yung maximum concentration here. I-multiply na lang natin diretso sa E raised to the power of the elimination rate constant, that's 0.1 times the dosing interval. So that's 8 hours. And then doing the math, our minimum concentration na mangyayari doon sa drug after the second administration or the second dose is 5.4 milligrams per liter. Okay? So yan yung pag-compute natin for the IV multiple dosing. Okay? So sa multiple dosing, we follow the principle of superposition. Okay? Yun yung sinabi ko kanina na when a drug when a drug is administered at a time, syempre may maiiwan, tapos since this is multiple dosing, administer ka ng second dose mo. So yung total amount of drug in the body is now equal to yung binigay mong next dose, the amount provided by the new dose, plus yung remaining amount of drug remaining from the previous dose na in-administer. Again, this is known as the principle of superposition. So yung superposition principle na yan, lahat na kino-consider. The distribution, let's not talk about absorption here since this is given IV. So again, kasali na dyan yung distribution of the drug, the metabolism, and the excretion. And everything will be linear. Okay? So linear ito. We will be following the first order kinetics. Linear siya kapag sa semi-log paper natin siya graph. Now, this is not true if the disposition process of the drug is non-linear. Hindi natin ito magagawa pag non-linear yung pag-eliminate, for example, na drug. So, according to this approach or according to this principle, the concentrations ng ating drug, if binigay natin siya ng multiple dosing, pwede natin siyang i-calculate by adding them together, yung concentration ng each dose. So, since i-add lang natin siya, if we are going to double the dose of a drug, then magiging double din ang concentration sa plasma. So, ito is just a picture on what happens sa principle of superposition. So, we have a drug here. Ang dose is 64 milligrams in-administer sa ating patient. Siyempre, at half-life, half of the drug will be eliminated, half ng drug will remain in the body. So, we have here dose 1, multiple dosing ito ha. So, sa dose 1, siyempre, the dose of the drug is 64 milligrams. After its first half-life, 32 milligrams na lang ang matitira. Now, if we are going to administer the second dose after the first half-life of the drug, then i-add lang natin kasi superposition, di ba? The remaining dose is 32 and then yung bagong in-administer is 64. So, that's a total of 96. Then again, since this follows first-order kinetics, yung pagbaba ng drug sa body is dependent on the amount of drug remaining. So, nakadepende dito sa 96. So, ito yung drug ng after second mo na dose na binigay. And then after its half-life, yung remaining drug na lang is 48. Okay, so nakadepende again dito sa 96. Hindi siya constant. Yan yung first order kinetics. Okay, and then on the third dose, syempre mag-administer ka na naman ng another 64 milligrams plus i-add mo yung remaining na drug sa body and that is 48. Okay? So, multiple dosing ito hanggang naka-administer ka na ng 7th dose mo. But please take note na yung accumulation nandito sa right side ha. 32 yung na-accumulate. Tapos on the third dose, 112 na yung total. Tapos after one half-life, 56. Ito lang yung na-accumulate, 16. And please take note as time goes by sa multiple dosing natin, wala nang accumulation ng drug na mangyayari. Magiging, zero na siya since yung amount na lumabas and then amount ng binigay mo, most likely, magpareha na siya. Walang accumulation na mangyayari. So, ano yan siya? On the 8th and on the 9th dose, yun na yung tinatawag natin na steady state. There will be accumulation to the steady state. So, on the first dose, bababa, and then mag-accumulate. Tataas na naman siya kasi mag-administer ka ng second dose mo. And then, pag ganyan-ganyan lang siya, bababa, and then mag-administer ng another dose, tataas na naman, hanggang wala na talagang accumulation ng drug na mangyayari. Okay, so just like this one, ma-achieve na natin yung steady state concentration. Okay, so this one is another illustration. This is the dosing regimen na for plasma drug concentrations. This one here, ito yung first dose na binigay, and then syempre the drug gets eliminated from the body, but before it gets eliminated completely, bibigay na natin yung second dose, so tataas na naman siya. So ito na naman yung magiging peak. And on the second dose, ito yung magiging minimum concentration natin kasi it will be eliminated, pero another dose will be given kaya tataas na naman siya. Okay? So ano yan siya, series of peak and then yung minimum concentration. And then again, there will be such time na yung accumulation ko konti na lang sa body, yun na yung time na ma-achieve ang steady state. So we have here another formula for the computation of the steady state concentration. Okay? Kasi yung yung as you give the number of doses, kung tataas na yung number of doses na binigay mo, yung accumulation of drug bababa until magiging zero siya. Again, yun na yung tinatawag na steady state of the IV bolus dose. And how do we compute that? We will actually be using almost the same formula. We'll just take this out here, yung sa taas. So the steady state concentration is equal to the salt factor times the bioavailability factor times the dose. So nawala yung supposedly yung computation natin last time sa multiple dosing. And then the same lang yung sa baba, volume of distribution times 1 minus A raised to the power of negative K. And then meron pa ito, E raised to the power of negative KT. Okay. Now, meron din tayong maximum concentration at steady state na tinatawag. We will be using this formula. And then, meron syempre din tayong minimum concentration na steady state at steady state. Okay? We can use this formula, or if the maximum concentration is already computed, you can directly compute it, i-multiply mo na lang itong sa baba. Negative E raised to the power of negative KT. Actually, that's the same formula, no? Sa last time, may tinanggal lang tayo, yung sa taas. Okay? So let's have an example. I will be leaving some practice problems after this one for the remaining time natin sa class. So, ito yung previous problem natin. Calculate the maximum, not the previous problem. Anyway, calculate the maximum and minimum steady state plasma concentration achieved by this regimen. The dose is 250 milligrams this time. The given volume of distribution is 30 liters. And then, the elimination rate constant is 0.1 per hour. And then, itong dosing interval natin is 8 hours. Okay? So, i-compute natin ngayon yung ating maximum concentration at steady state and minimum concentration at steady state. Again, we'll be using this formula for the maximum concentration at steady state. Wala na yung S and F kasi automatic 1 yan sila unless may nabigay na ibang salt factor. But yung F automatic, that's 1. So we will directly have the dose, 250, divided by 30 is the volume of distribution times 1 minus E raised to the power of, again, 0.1 yung given na elimination rate constant times yung ating interval, it's 8. So doing the math, the maximum concentration at steady state for the drug is 15.1 milligrams per liter. If you are going to check, ano yung magiging minimum concentration kung bababa na siya pag na-eliminate na yung drug before the next dose, i-compute mo na siya diretso actually. Pwede nang wala itong 250 divided by 30, ganun. kasi na-compute na natin siya dito. Actually, pwede mo siyang idiretso 15 times e raised to the power of 0.1 times 8. You'll get the 6.8 milligrams per liter. Okay, so that is the minimum concentration. Just like this one here. So ito, kung sa given na data, ito yung magiging, for example, 15.1 milligrams per liter. That's the maximum concentration. And then bababa siya, our minimum concentration is 6.8. Okay, so dyan siya, pag mag-administer ka naman ng dose kasi nasa steady state ka pa, hanggang 15.1 lang din siya. And then kung bababa, it's 6.8. Okay, so this is how we compute. So, I'll be leaving some seatwork sa inyong Google Classroom. Ito muna pauna and then isunod ko yung iba na sample problem. So, sagutan niyo siya for the remaining time since it's still 9 o'clock. A dosing interval of 8 hours was needed for a drug. The volume of distribution is already given, that's 50 liters, and then the elimination rate constant is 0.043 per hour. To achieve the steady state and the peaks, excuse me, of 14 and 20 milligrams per liter respectively. So what dose should be used? Automatic, i-assume natin na ang salt factor is 1 and then ang bioavailability factor is also 1. Sagutan niyo lang siya and then isubmit niyo siya sa Google Classroom. Pero meron pa akong ipopost later kasi hindi ko pa siya na-post lahat. Yan pa lang, excuse me, yan pa lang yung nauna kong i-post, ay, pinost. Ito. I-post na ba? Ay, wala pa pala. Anyway, i-post ko siya and then meron pa akong idagdag later na mga sample problems para pag-practicean ninyo. So, ito yung magiging last na coverage for the final exam. Yung ating coverage lang naman is yung absorption, yung kabuuan ng absorption na diniscuss last time. And then this one, IV bolus na pharmacokinetics. So there will be computations also, yung computations na binigay ko ngayon. So I hope you can familiarize the equations natin. Okay, any question?
Ma'am, yung unang computation kanina, yung time, given po yun, ma'am, or kami, ma'am, yung 20 and 4 ba yun? Yung pinakaunang computation, ma'am. Wala siya.